Guys, so I just got back from a store that has novelty candy that's local, and I was going to show you some things. So this, though, is from the mid-90s. This is a Amaral bubble jug. You might remember these. They came in these small, jug, basically plastic jugs, but they're filled with candy powder. This is a vintage one, but they started making these 2 years ago, and I finally picked one up. I'd just been waiting to find one in the wild is what it was. But yeah, when these were first released a couple years ago, people on the internet were trying to get the $100 these sell for the new ones, like trying to trick people. Like, these are rare. These are not rare at all. So don't overpay for the new bubble jugs. You should pay literally like $3 for it at the most, maybe $2 to $3. But this is what it looks like compared to the 90s one. Let's compare them real quick. This is vintage. This is brand new. Now, it's made by Iconic Candy, which is a new company out of, you guessed it, New Jersey. Tons of candies made in New Jersey, novelty candy. It's one of the major hubs, especially in, well, it's historically been, but especially nowadays, it's really obvious where stuff is coming from. But anyway, that's what it looks like. They use the same sculpt. Now, I've known all this time that this sculpt was available to be used. And what I'm talking about is in China, the shape and the volume of this container, they've always kept it. I don't know if they've used this for maybe cleaning products. Maybe they've repackaged this in the past for cleaning products. I'm not really sure. But as you can see, this new company has just picked up the bubble jug trademark. And you can do that. You can buy them. All you do is you get a lawyer, get like a copyright lawyer, and you see if the brand is available for purchase. And you have to kind of go through those steps. And I'm not sure quite how that works. But evidently they were able to buy bubble jug, and they can make them again. So that's what it looks like if you find it out in the wild. Okay, so I got some other stuff that I picked up, so I thought I'd share it. I'm going to put this damn camera down. The next one is toxic waste slime liquor sprays. This is my first time seeing this one. Now, if you don't know about toxic waste, they've been out since, I believe it's 1999. I have the first wave toxic waste. I could show those to you one day. But since they've, done all kinds of offshoots like everything else, but this is their beaker form. So this is definitely novelty candy. So novelty candy is when, the container has some sort of gag related to it, or it's directly related to the theme. In this case, something that's nuclear, something that's dangerous, a chemical that could kill us all. So they made a plastic beaker that you spray with. So that's really cool. If you didn't know, this mascot is named Toxie. I think the first appearance of Toxie, well, he's been around since the beginning, but they started like really digging into this mascot in the early 2000s. The next one that I found is this one. This one has been out for a couple of years too. I just finally picked it up. But as you notice, it's in a bubble tape clamshell container. It has a clip on the back which differentiates it from Amaral's famous, or now Wrigley's, bubble tape. But this one's space themed. Now this comes in 3 colors. I decided to just start with blue. I'll probably end up getting them all. But yeah, super cool. It has a branding of Sweet Bandit. But yeah, I thought that was a really good looking piece there. So I picked that up today. Also picked up this. This is Guppers, pickle gummies, gross as hell. Inside is a novelty. It's made to look exactly like a pickle. And I guess it tastes like pickles, unfortunately, which I guess I like pickles, but not being packaged as candy. But I guess other people do. So I just picked it up for the candy package. One thing that I noticed about this is I love the goopy graphic around it. It just falls right in line with my love of Garbage Pail Kids and slime and everything gross, right? There's a kind of a gross factor of all this goop, which, by the way, I don't ever think about goop when I'm eating pickles. It's liquidy. Anyway, there's that. Picked up this guy. These have been out for a few years as well. This is a light up spaceship squeeze candy. This falls in line with all the squeeze candies that usually, they typically go back to the year 1990s when we first started seeing squeeze bubblegum or just squeeze packages, which now that I say it, there's actually been some from the 60s, actually, now that I think about it. But anyway, it became more of a thing, is what I'm saying, in the 90s. Anyway, what you do is you push the button here. It's not really lighting up. Well, there you go. But yeah, it's a rocket spaceship. So anything alien or space related, I'm definitely going to go for. Which I buy all this shit anyway, but I especially love the alien stuff and the gross stuff. Along those lines, this also came out recently. This is the Juicy Drop Pop pins. So I haven't seen many novelties by Tops or Bazooka brands in this case in recent years. So this is a new thing that we can definitely talk about. It's a pin. Now, candy pins have been around again since the 60s. Plastic pins filled with candy is not a new idea at all. But to see it in 2025 and to see it with one of the major candy brands, which is Juicy Drop Pops, is pretty exciting, even though I guess it is a little generic. Anyway, this comes in 3 colors to my knowledge, so I got the red one. It had more eye appeal. The blue one was cute, but as you can see, I got some other blue stuff today, so I just went with this. I'll end up buying them all. But yeah, so Juicy Drop Pop has been out since, I believe the initial year was 2003. Don't quote me on this. I've only recently got into backtracking on Juicy Drop Pop. The major push there was I've just seen kids eating these. And so that got my interest. So apparently these have been popular. Anyway, the last piece that I picked up today is this. So this is the Sour Patch Kids mascot. It's just a hollow container, mascot filled with liquid candy. Sounds gross. I'm never going to eat this or anything, or even taste it, or even try to open it. But I can only imagine a sour liquidy. It feels very liquidy. You can almost hear it in the beginning. Yeah, it kind of hit against the side. But yeah, a little too liquidy, a little too something, a little too red. I don't know. But it's very cool. I have a ton of, vintage Sour Patch that we can look at again some other day. But yeah, so this is it. So I'm looking around, make sure that's it. Yeah. So yeah, just in a review, I went to a store that has novelty candy and picked up these pieces. First is a mascot of Sour Patch. The new toxic waste novelty beakers. Now this is a continuation of their slime liquor line that's been out, I believe, 4 years at this point. Slime liquors come in roll form, tube form, and now beaker form. Juicy Drop Pop, made by Bazooka Brands, which is a affiliate of Topps Company. Juicy Drop Pop usually comes in packs. There's been taffies and bubblegums and stuff, but this is now their novelty pen. So that's very interesting. I reckon they're saying, I honestly studied this, but I reckon they're saying that you could maybe write with the red gel. Picked up a bubble jug finally. This is just a redo of a 90s classic. And I showed you what they looked like back in the 90s. Completely fucking stole that IP, right? I could have changed it a little bit more, I think. Picked up this piece. I forget the company. I guess we could look at that real quick. Oh, KO's. KO's is one of the major novelty candy brands. They actually have origins with the Zeebs International Company out of Fort Worth, Texas from the 90s. Anyway, that's that. Picked up this pretty vile Gupper's Candy Pickles gummies. I will definitely be opening this. I can actually do that now. Let's, because I'm not keeping this sealed. It's not that special. Oh, I'm glad I did this because, look, it comes with its own branded candy containers. So I'll definitely be saving these. I'll open one of these for you. Wow, this really looks realistic. I didn't know it was going to look this real. I mean, I could see through the package. This thing is, it's kind of poopy, honestly. It's got a candy gel in there. I can use this scrap piece of paper. We can cut into this baby. I'll hold it up if you can't see. 1 second. By the way, this is part of a growing theme in novelty candy, and that is jelly-filled gummies. It was mostly introduced about 4 years ago by the Almost company, who make peelers. If you've got those really wonderful peelers, I should have brought some up here to show you guys. We'll have to look at them another day. But they really have introduced the theme of filled gummies. I mean, I've seen fucking filled gummies. I mean, I'm still not filled. I'm filled gummies back in the 90s, but they weren't like a thing. Yeah, that looks really gross. I'm going to actually try this real quick. Okay. Honestly, that's like apple. That tastes like an apple. And I have a good palate. I'm kind of a foodie myself. Yeah, that's more apple-y. I actually highly recommend that. That's actually really good. Okay. Anyway, so that's really cool. That's a nice little surprise. I didn't know it was going to be that good. I'd actually buy that again. Now, the size of it, it gives kind of icky vibes. Like, I don't want to say. Anyway, so that's really cool. I actually really love this little thing, too. The little clamshell package there. It's kind of greasy, though. Kind of greasy for some reason. There is like a greasy film on these. Yeah, so that's... And now I need to go wash my hands after like... Anyway, so this was the other thing. Little fake bubble tape fugazi. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, damn. Plot twist. I actually recommend you actually eating these. Definitely pick up the package for the package. It's very gross themed. Guys, well, I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry, I was reading a comment. That's right. Yeah, fruit stripe. I'm so glad someone picked that up. Yep. I knew that. Yeah, someone contacted me a couple years ago about the Fleer Mr. Bones coffin candy copyrights. And I was explaining to him... Sorry, I have nothing to show you to keep this going. We can look at this. Let's just look at this for a minute while I talk about this. This is really cool. This is a 1989 push-up sherbet ice creams. Yeah, so a guy contacted me asking me about if the Fleer Mr. Bones copyright is available. The reason is I run a page on Facebook just for... I run a bunch of pages and groups. That is just about Fleer Mr. Bones. And yes, it actually is. And he was thinking about buying the Mr. Bones coffins and remaking it, basically rebooting them, which would be absolutely amazing. I would love to have a say in some of that. You know, when it comes down to color choices and candy options and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, yeah, so I don't know the total ins and outs of how you would purchase a copyright. But yeah, it's very cool. They're doing fruit stripe again. All right, we'll see you guys.